Hello everyone, welcome to What If Deku was Antimatter Pokemon and fell in love with Ingvild Leviathan Movie 1. Before we start, please go support DarkUnknownReader for writing that awesome fanfic. Arceus felt something was wrong. He always felt Giratina was different from its brothers Palkia and Dialga. He decided to visit Giratina in the distortion world only to find a woman that reminded him of Giratina. Before Arceus could react, the woman had vanished to a new world he didn't know about, with the woman. She was glad she have escaped her father. She rubbed her belly as she smiled as a new life will be born soon. One day she gives birth to a boy with black hair and golden tips, red eyes and a pure smile. The woman was happy, but she knew that soon problems will soon arrive as the baby's aura could be felt through the whole of the new dimension she is in. The son of Antimatter. Arceus haven't seen Giratina for a while now. Normally either Giratina would be in the human world or dealing with its brothers Palkia and Dialga dumb fights. Giratina sometimes have acted more reasonable between the three of them, but Giratina felt way different than their brothers. Arceus mind, it has been a long time since I meet with my rebellious child. Why don't I pay them a visit? He opened a portal and fly through it. Arriving inside the Distorian world, it was a weird sight. Giratina mixed it from time to time, but Arceus was always shocked how much in balance the distortion world truly is. Arceus, it always surprised me how Giratina actually is the most focused one on balance their own dimension, even more than Palkia and Dialga. But then again, they mess up their own dimension by their stupid fights against each other. He explored the distortion world to try his child. After what seems like forever, he came across a woman. She seems to minding her own business. She had short black hair and red eyes. She wore a silver dress with the middle part of it having black and red stripes, black ribbons falling down to her ankles as they end in a red color. She also have golden gloves, and last she had a few features that resembles Giratina. Arceus mind, who is she? The woman turns towards him. Before he could ask her, she opens a portal and vanish. He tried feeling her energy, but it was gone as well. With the woman, she was in a small town somewhere. While there she rubbed her belly. Mind, I have escaped father's sight. I will not let him take you, my child. While back in the world of Pokemon, Arceus decided to ask Palkia and Dialga if they knew the woman. Palkia, sorry father, but we actually don't know. Dialga, if the distortion world didn't make our powers useless, I could have found out. Arceus, it is alright my children, but this woman is so strange. Her outfit seems to remind me of Giratina. Palkia, father, not to bother you, but can you show us how she look? Arceus nodded as he used his powers to create an image of the woman. Dialga looked at her. He felt like he have seen her. Arceus, something bothering you, my son? Dialga, yes father, it seems like I have this feeling I have encountered her, but I can't remember when. Arceus, take your time. Dialga thought really hard about it. He decided to try use his power of time and watch the past. While watching, he watched his human form just sitting in front of a lake relaxing. Past Dialga, when is she showing up? Suddenly a portal opened in the middle of the lake, and out came the woman Dialga was shown by Arceus. Sorry I am late, brother. Past Dialga, finally Giratina, I have waited a long time. Past Giratina, come on, you have all the time in the world, but what do you need me for this time? Past Dialga, could you help me restore my dimension? Past Giratina just looked at him before forming an aura sphere in her hand and used it to bonk his head. He rubbed his head as the aura sphere hurts since he was also steel type. Past Giratina, again? Why am I not surprised anymore? I swear on our father's name that even though I am the most rebellious one between the three of us, you two somehow act more like children than I ever did with your hick-size competition. Past Dialga, first we are not doing that. We are trying to see who is the second strongest of us three. Past Giratina, yes, since I am the strongest between us three. She chuckled a bit. Past Giratina, alright moron, let's fix your dimension, but you owe me a lot. Past Dialga chuckled as he nodded, letting her know that he know. Present Dialga stopped as he looked his father dead in the eyes. Dialga, I now know who she is. Arceus, who is she? Dialga stayed quiet before sighing. Dialga, sorry, I have promised her I won't tell you. You will unfortunately have to find out yourself. Arceus, I see, I understand. He then left both of them. Palkia, who is she? Dialga, you will find out one day, but it is a promise I kept, that and I owe her a lot. This is only a really small favor compared to all the time she helped me fix my dimension after our fights. Palkia, wait, she was the one that helped you to fix it so fast? He then leaped to his dimension as Palkia thought about visiting Giratina. While with Giratina, she was in a new distortion world that she have created. Giratina, just like the old one, if father ever do find me, I probably will connect both. But what about you, little one? She rubs her belly while smiling. She was the goddess of antimatter, created by Arceus as the first three to create a whole multiverse in her old world with the ultra space and the original world, the embodiment of chaos. But she wanted to give everything for her child. Giratina, don't worry my child, mommy is here for you. Time skip 8 months later. It have been 8 months in the new world. Giratina felt her child will soon brought into the world. While in the new world, she have met a few people and learned about the culture. What shocked her most was that there were other gods through multiple cultures, but Christianity was the only one that she truly was interested. Right now she is reading a Bible while sitting inside a castle in her disguise form. Hello Giratina, I see you are soon going to give birth. Giratina, oh Umi, I see your little girl have taken a toll on you. Umi was a woman with a light purple hair and brown eyes. She encountered Giratina while the goddess was exploring. They ended up being friends. That is when Giratina was introduced to Christianity, while Umi was told about who Giratina really was. Umi, are you ready for your little one? Giratina, of course. Umi, remember I am a goddess of antimatter. I helped create an entire multiverse alongside my stupid brothers. I am also stronger than them, so I think I should be able to handle it. Umi sighed. Giratina sometimes was a bit too stubborn, so she went over and handed her a book. Giratina, a parent guide for dummies? Why do I need that? Umi, yes, you could use that, since from your past it sounded like you never really were taught parenting skills. I would recommend the pages for mothers only. Giratina sighed. She opens the book, but before she got to read it, she dropped it while clutching her stomach. Umi, Giratina? Is everything alright? Giratina, water broke. Umi heard that. She called her husband as he quickly transported them to the alley of a hospital. They quickly bring her inside. They waited for Giratina as she was giving birth. After what felt like hours, the doctor got out of the room. Doctor, it was a success. Umi, can we see her? Doctor, go ahead. They entered to see Giratina holding a kid. It was a boy with black hair and golden tips, red eyes. He was also smiling with the most purest one they have ever seen. Giratina, hey, meet my son Isuku Arceus, Ark for short. Umi, Kaido, look how cute he is. I hope my little one will be his friend when she is born. Kaido, I agree. I know he will grow up to be a nice young man one day. Umi, but why Arceus as his last name? Giratina, well, me and my brothers do not have a last name, so I use our father's, but he will be known as Isuku Ark mostly. Izuku giggled while clapping his hands as Giratina smiled at her child. As his aura could be felt by many, most shivered in fear as they felt the aura. They dreaded what being could just been born. 4 years and 2 months later. Izuku could be seen practicing making a shadow ball. He then fired as it hit a tree. Izuku, are you done training? Izuku, I am done now, Ingvild. As a purple-haired girl with orange eyes, wearing a white summer dress and summer hat was waiting for him. Her name is Ingvild Leviathan. She is a half-human, half-devil. She is also Izuku's only friend. Izuku have also changed, from his once black hair to a silver one with black tips, and his eyes changed into light blue color. Ingvild, you promised we could play an hour ago. Izuku, I know, which is why. He transported in front of her. Izuku, tag, you're it. He quickly ran as Invile begins to chase him, while on a bench, Umi and Giratina could be seen giggling. Umi, little Izuku really enjoy playing with Invile. Giratina, true, normally when we are in our own home, he mostly practice some attacks, but when he is here, he always want to play with Ingvild more. He do want practice a bit, but he prefer playing with her. Umi, They have been close ever since my little Ingvild was born. Remember when they were still babies? They couldn't almost never sleep and would cry whenever they felt they were close to each other. Giratina, please don't remind me. If they didn't somehow feel each other's aura being at least in a few centimeters from each other when they were in the same home, they would start crying. Yeah, so many sleepless nights bringing them to each other. Giratina, hey when they get older, should we ask if they would want to be engaged? Sure, I hope they will accept. They watch as Ingvild finally catches Isuku, but they both fell onto the ground beside each other. They look at each other before burst out laughing. Their mothers just chuckles while shaking their head. They could tell that they would probably become a couple one day. 10 years later. A grown-up Isuku and a grown-up Ingvild could be seen. Isuku was reading a book as Ingvild was sleeping on his lap. Izuku didn't mind as he cares about his friend, stopped reading for a second and looked at Ingvild. Izuku mind, she looks so cute sleeping, it reminds me all of the sleepovers we had. He sigh, he looks around before looking back at the Ingvild. Izuku mind, there is no one around here, it is just me and her. He stared a bit at her before sighing. Izuku mind, why am I doing this? But then again do love her. He looked around real quick again, making sure no one is around before leaning down and gently kissed her quickly before retracting back and reading his book. He felt Ingvild move a bit before opening her eyes. Ingvild, good evening Izuku. Izuku, evening Ingvild, enjoyed your nap? She nodded, but unknown to Izuku, she actually knows what he did. She never was asleep while she was resting her head on his lap, but she pretended that she still was asleep. Giratina, we are back. They enter the room where Izuku and Ingvild was in. They see Ingvild lay upon Izuku's lap while Izuku was reading a book. Did anything happen? Izuku, no, everything is alright. Ingvild nodded in agreement. Giratina, you two do know that I can watch you from the shadows, right? Now both of them blushed as they saw Giratina's smirk. Giratina, I see, you forgot I could. Izuku, Mom, how much did you see? Giratina, enough to know what you did to Ingvild while she was asleep. Izuku quickly sent a shadow ball at his mother. She sighed before swiping it away and into the distortion world. Giratina, remember that I am still stronger than you Izuku, but we actually want to speak with both of you too. Both looked at their parents confused. So as you both know, Kaido have hidden himself from the other devils, both the new and old faction. Izuku, yeah, the old want to rule over humans and other supernatural, while new is more about repopulate what is left of them. Good, so as you both know, if they come to know the existence of Ingvild, then Lucifer knows what happens, whatever if it is the new or old. Izuku, they will never find her. I will make sure of that. Thank you Izuku, that also brings us to something else. Giratina, so since you two are so close, we were wondering if two are alright with being engaged. Izuku and Ingvild, what? Both looked at each other before turning away blushing. You don't have to if you feel too uncomfortable, it is your choice. Ingvild, I actually don't mind. They turn towards Ingvild as she is blushing even more. Ingvild, I don't actually mind being engaged to him, you are right, we are close. Izuku, are you sure? She nodded as he smiled. Izuku, alright, I accept this as well. Really? This is the third best day of my life. Giratina, great, well you two can relax. Oh, and Izuku, at least wait until you are 18 before thinking of anything. Izuku, MOM. Giratina laughed before quickly leaving to the distortion world. Izuku was so embarrassed by what her mother said, he sighed before giving Ingvild a quick hug before he returns to the distortion world, leaving Ingvild with her mother. So, how long have you actually been awake when you were napping on him? Ingvild didn't want to answer that question, but she could tell her mother would never let her leave unless she answered, while with Izuku and Giratina. Giratina, so son, you feel it too? Izuku, yes, it is getting stronger. Giratina and Izuku transport themselves in front of a seal as a creature they have seen before was inside it. Izuku looked at it, he felt how it was like his mother, it was the embodiment of chaos, but it was weaker than both him and his mother. Giratina, one day, It will be freed, I can feel it, but for now you have nothing to worry about, you have time to get stronger, you are my child after all. Isuku, Mom, how long will the seal last? Giratina. I have taken a long time to study this world. The old Christianity god that existed here made sure that even if the beasts have gotten stronger, the seal won't break until a few requirements are met. I could destroy it now, but then every being here will get to know of my existence. Only Kaido, Umi and Ingvild are allowed, no more, no less. Isuku. I see, so that is why I was never allowed to see anything else? The less people knew of me. Giratina. The less trouble we will have. They then left the beast as Isuku take one last look at it before he vanished. Time skip 3 years. Isuku could be seen training while Ingvild watched. Isuku have noticed she have been more tired recently, no one knows why. Isuku have been worried for her a lot. Isuku kept a close eye on her while he was training. He watched as she have yawned a few times, but never fell asleep. He fired off a aura sphere at a tree, just as it hit. He looked towards Ingvild as she was trying her best not to fall asleep. Isuku, are you alright, Ingvild? Ingvild, yeah, just tired. Isuku went over to her. He then picked her up and carried her bridal style. He carried her inside as both his mom and Ingvild parents. Kadio, what is wrong? Isuku, something is wrong. Is there any sleep diseases devils can get? Kadio, there is one, why? Giratina, Isuku, you don't think what I think you are thinking, right? Isuku nodded his head. Isuku transported himself and Ingvild into her room. He places her onto the bed. Ingvild, sorry for getting this disease, Isuku. Isuku, don't worry, I will wait for you to wake up. I will visit every day and stay for as long I can. Ingvild then closes her eyes. As she had fallen asleep, Isuku put a blanket over her. He stayed in her room for a long time. He didn't care how long he stayed, he had a promise to keep. At some point his mom and Ingvild's parents enter. He had to return home and rest. While he returned home, Giratina stayed behind for a bit. Umi, are you alright, my friend? Giratina, I am. Can you please leave me alone with Ingvild real quick? Kaido, take your time. They then left her. Giratina sighed. She gently dragged her hand over Ingvild's face. She is happy Ingvild alive. Giratina mind, don't worry, Ingvild, I might try hide myself, but I will protect you as well while you are asleep. She used her powers on Ingvild as a shadow-like aura surround her before vanishing. She then sighed. Giratina should have masked her presence just in case. I should head back to Isuku, knowing the person he was closest to since childhood will be asleep for father knows how long because of a damn sleep disease. Hope the disease won't affect you for too long, Ingvild. She then left Ingvild and headed back to the distortion world. She knew that it will take a long time before Ingvild wake up. She just hopes Isuku won't be that much affected while she is asleep, but she knows she has to prepare him for the future. Left a past and started a new beginning. It has been a long since Giratina vanished from the world of Pokemon. Dialga did not find Giratina, but he needed a break, so he decided to visit a new world. Upon entering, he felt an aura he hadn't felt before in a long time. Dialga mind, so sister, this is where you've been hiding. He could visit her, but he decided against it, due to he just arrived and he doesn't want to stress her. What brings you here, giant four-legged creature? Dialga, I am Dialga, god of time. Who are you? You can call me Light. Dialga, what do you need from me? I can tell that you didn't come here just to greet me. Light, you can say that I have made a mistake a long time ago. I wonder if you can help me? Dialga, what do you need? Light, I need a warrior that can help a hidden place that not anyone on Earth knows. Can you help with that? Dialga looked at him. Dialga, I can indeed, but it will be the warrior's choice if they want to continue helping. But from what I have seen, the warrior that will help, but they will need to get prepared while being away from there. Light, I understand. Time skip 100 years later. It has been a century since Dialga found the dimension Giratina have hidden herself in, but at the hidden place, someone could be seen being beaten up by 9 people. That is what you get, Faker. You really are pathetic. This is what you deserve. Nora, quick, use your hammer. Nora, say less, Ruby. Nora take out Manghild and slam it underground, sending the 9 away from the person they are beating up. John, are you okay? John, I am fine, Pyrrha, it hurts less than last time. Why are you helping him? Well, Young and Weiss, me and Ruby shouldn't even be allowed to be here. Ruby is young and I was once a part of, you know what, once. Weiss, but Blake, you are a part of. Ruby, don't even finish that sentence. I don't consider you two mine and Blake's teammates. Ren, and just because Carden exposed him, you decided to turn on him. Carden have literally bullied almost everyone in this school, but you prefer listening to him than John. Nora, our fearless leader, at least won't abandon us if a Grim attacks. Carden once left his own teammates to fight against one Beowulf. It wasn't even an alpha Beowulf. No, it was a regular one. Pyrrha, you people are disgusting, even you Coco, Fox and Yatsuhashi. Coco, well, now we are PN betrayal of teammates. Velvet, why are you helping them? Velvet, rather help John than listening to Carden. Coco, TCH, don't enter our dorm than ever. Velvet, gladly. John, if you people don't want me here in Beacon, fine, I will leave, but don't come begging if you ever need help. Carden, we won't lose her. John, trust me, there are always a bigger fish, Carden. He then leave the 9 as his team. Blake, Ruby and Velvet follow him. Ruby, John, are you sure? John, yes, Ruby, I will advise you to also leave. Pyrrha, why does she also need to leave? John, it is because of her eyes. She is a pawn for Ashbin because of something called silver-eyed warriors. These warriors are created by the god of light of the 2 brother gods. Velvet, how do you know that? Blake, yeah, I am also curious. They then all enter Team GNPR's dorm. Instead of John packing, he snaps his fingers as the alarm on the nightstand stops. Then a blue portal opens as he gestures them to enter. John, Dad, I have brought some friends with me. Everyone except John, wait, but isn't. Suddenly Dialga arrive in front of them as he look at them. John, everyone meet my true father, Dialga, god of time. Dialga, it is a surprise to see you bringing your friends here. I was speaking with Light about the warrior you would need to protect. Light, seems he has brought her along. Hello, Miss Ruby Rose, I am the Light, one of the 2 brother gods. He extended his hand as Ruby shook it. Dialga, what brings you here? John and his friends explain what have happened to John. To say Dialga was pissed was an understatement. He wanted to destroy Beacon. Light, to think Ashbin would allow this. I am disappointed in him. Ruby, Mr. Light, John told me I am silver-eyed warrior. Why does Ashbin need silver-eyed warriors? Light, my brother create Grim. I gave powers to special warriors that gained my silver eyes color, because their eyes are capable of kill Grim without dust or weapons. But I made a mistake and cursed a woman named Salem Immortal. She fell into a Grim pool and ended up becoming Queen of Grim. Her and Ashbin have been at war with each other for a long time. Dialga, but how come you are around my son? You are 15. Ruby, Ashbin allowed me to skip ahead 2 years. Light, I keep making more and more mistakes. You need to leave with John. Whatever Ashbin is doing means only you are in danger. Ruby, why? Light, he is being desperate. Since Salem have been hunting silver-eyed people to near extinction, he is trying to use you against her. If this continues, you will end up dying soon. Ruby took a step back in shock. Everyone else was also shocked. They look at her with huge concern. John became more angry. Ruby, alright, I will leave as well. John, Blake, tell Ashbin that Ruby is leaving Beacon as soon me and her are gone. By the time he try and locate us, we will be gone. We will contact you when we are safe. Dialga, head to Kuoh, should be more safe since your cousin is there still. You need to keep her safe. She is the one warrior. John nodded. They then leave. Blake and Ruby head to Team RWBY's dorm and pack her things. John have done packing his thing. He then called Ashbin before he told Ashbin that he is leaving, and something that neither Blake, Pyrrha, Nora, Ren and Velvet could be a team lead by Velvet. Which Ashbin showed he really didn't care that he left, but granted that Velvet is leading his former team. He then transport himself as well his soon former team and Velvet out waiting for Ruby and Blake to come out. Pyrrha, will you return? John, no, well unless on a trip. Nora, can we come with you? John, sorry, but if Ashpin finds out all of us leave, in the name of my grandfather he will hunt not only Ruby, but also you down, just to use you as pawns and weapons. Velvet, wish I could come with you, knowing Coco for a whole year, my life is about to be a living nightmare. John, don't worry, you are going to be the leader of Ren, Nora, Pera and Blake. Velvet, thank you. Ruby finally arrive. John, Ruby, you can speak with them one last time before we leave. Ruby nodded. In an instant she was away by her friends, leaving only John, Ren and Nora back. John, guess we won't see them for a few minutes. Nora, don't worry, should take less, it does depend on how long they do speak. Ren, true, but this is a matter between just the four of them. John, I could speed it up, but I don't want another scolding. Ren, what do you mean? John, my father once was angry because I might have reversed time when I pranked my cousin. Nora, what did you do? John, reverse time every time his paint was about to be done drying. Nora, I can understand now. Ren, did he do something to you that made you do that? John, we had a prank war. After a while, Ruby returned. They then say goodbye to their friends before John transport him and Ruby away. While in Kuoh in a room, someone was asleep while a person was pounding on. Issei, wake up. The person outside the door took a step back before kicking open the door, which woke up Issei as he fell down. Issei, Rappi, why did you wake me up? Rappi, we are going to be late. Issei, just go ahead, I should be able to arrive in time. Rappi sigh, she knows her brother is lazy, but he always arrived before her to school. She leaves as Issei changed to his uniform. So when are you going to tell her? Issei, sorry Office, but you know why, if she found out about not only me not even being here real brother, but also what I am. Office, you should tell her soon, the host of Drake is soon going to be in trouble. Issei, over my body. No one will ever hurt her unless they want me to erase them. Issei then transport himself away. While Office vanished, Issei arrived in an alley across the school. Issei mind, another day, another nightmare with those two, but I need to keep up the act. He walked into the school and before arriving at his class, he hear a few whispers from the two he rather least deal with. Issei mind, great they are bad-mouthing me, I just want a relaxing day, but it is impossible. Hey Issei. Issei turned around. Issei, hey Matsuda and Motohama. Motohama, hey Issei, where is Rappi? You always arrive before her. Issei, what can I say, she is slow. Rappi, how are you always here before me? Issei, you are just slow Rappi. Rappi, every time I wake up before you, you always up on the last minute, but you somehow arrive here before me. Issei didn't answer, he went to his seat before sitting down. Nothing special happened as the class was boring to Issei. He didn't really need to learn anything. During break his friends forced him to peek with them. But just as they began to peek, Issei sneaked himself away. Today he just rather not deal with them. Office, why actually keep up with their antics? Issei turned around and saw Office float behind him. Issei, are you hidden? Office, yes. Issei, well it is because I rather not be popular, so I just keep up appearance with them helping dragging it through mud. Office, that is really stupid of you. Issei, you do know my reasons. Office, fair. The day went over as normal, him avoiding the kendo club presidents trying to beat him up, dealing with boring classes. He was walking home alone as he decided to take a detour. Issei mind, today is really boring. Excuse me? Are you Issei Hayato by chance? He turns around to see a black-haired girl with violet eyes. Issei mind, what are you planning, fallen angel? Issei, I am, and you are? I am Yuma Amano, are you seeing anyone right now? Issei mind, well not right now, but I am waiting for her. Issei, not really. Yuma, great, so can you be my boyfriend? Issei, let's first have a date, then I will see if I will accept. Yuma, alright, when should we have the date? Issei, I will text you when. Yuma nodded as she handed over her number to him. Issei then head home. When he arrived back, Mickey and Goro could be seen angrily waiting for him. Issei just ignored them and headed up to his room. Rappi, Issei, I have some news. Issei, what is it, Rappi? Rappi, someone asked me out on a date, he wanted it on this Sunday. Issei, I see, normally you always get asked out, what made you accept his date? Rappi, I actually don't know, I guess he is the first one that have interested me. Issei, well, hope you enjoy it. Rappi then left. Issei just texted Yuma the day of the date before going to bed. Time skipped to Sunday. Issei was waiting for Yuma. He had a feeling that Yuma wanted to kill him, but he needed to know if there was others here. Yuma, sorry if I keep you waiting. Issei mind, got to admit, she does look pretty, but she doesn't fool me. Issei, don't worry, I didn't wait that long. Yuma, great, well let's go then. She and Issei begin to have their date. Throughout the whole date, he wasn't interested in most of the date. During the end, he was walking through the park with Yuma. Yuma, hey Issei, could you do something for me? Issei, what do you need me to do? Yuma, could you die for me? Issei, pardon? Yuma's clothes then glowed before leaving her without any clothes. Issei sighed as he watched her clothes change. Issei chuckled at this. Issei, so this is how you actually look. Yuma, so what, you are about to die. She forms a red spear made of light and throw it at him. Issei on the other hand glowed a bright pink light before vanishing. Rainier, what? Issei, right behind you. She turns around only to be hit with a glowing pink hand. She falls to the ground. She turns around to see Issei, but his look has changed. A fireball was charged in his hand. Issei, I will let you live. Yuma, if you answer me these two things, who are you and how many of you fallen are here? Yuma, my name is Rainier and we are 5 here. One is on a date with your sister right now. Issei's eyes widen before he gain an angered look. He grabs her by the neck before open a portal and throws her through it. While on the other side Rappi could be seen in a pool of her own blood, the fallen angel smirking as he has done his work. Fallen corpse, well my work is done here. Suddenly a loud crash could be heard. The fallen angel look and see a terrified Rainier. Fallen corpse, what is wrong Rainier? Fighting any of the devils? Rainier, whatever he is anything but a devil. Fallen corpse, what are you talking about? He turns around to see a giant pink-colored creature, with darker pink markings. It have 2 arms with the shoulders being circular build while 2 pearl-looking things could be seen in them. It have 2 large legs, a silver color going from its hands to its stomach. Its feet have 3 claw-looking toes. While its hands had 5 finger-looking claws on them, its red eyes glaring directly at him. Rainier, as you can see, my target ended up being much worse. The giant creature spots Rappi before roaring again a lot louder. While Rappi still had strength in her body, she watched as the creature began to make the fallen angel suffer. Many cuts and slashes appear on the fallen angel's body. It gets frozen only for a powerful electric attack breaks the fallen angel free. It then burned it before hitting it with stone. The creature then vanished in a portal before the fallen angel was slashed 6 times before becoming feathers. Rainier, such powers. Indeed he has. Rainier turned around to stand face to face with Rias Gremory and Sona Citri. Creature, what do you two want? Sona, sorry, but this is... Ophis. I won't continue that sentence. If you want to get on his good side, better revive Rappi. Rias, who are you? Ophis, that is for me and him only to know. Rias pulled out 8 pawn pieces. She went to Rappi before placing one in. Rias was shocked before putting more and more until 4 has entered Rappi's body. A red glow happened as she was then fully healed up. The creature picked up Rappi, before turning to them. Creature, thank you for bringing her back. Sona, what are you and why are you here? Creature, all will be revealed in due time. For now stay away Citri and Gremory. I will explain things to her, when she have woken up. He then grabs Rainier's neck before vanishing. Sona and Rias turned to Ophis but she was gone as well. The creature appeared outside the Hayate house, right outside Rappi's room. It managed to open the room before placing Rappi inside on the bed. Creature mind, at least she is safe. He then hear a roar. From 003 to 007. The creature turns around to see a different colored Dialga. Creature: Nice to see you again, John. Who is your little friend? John: Hi Issei, meet Ruby. We kinda ran away from a place called Remnant. Issei: Why? Weren't you supposed to protect the warrior? John: Yes, and she is the warrior. Issei: Why did you two leave? Ruby: Well, Ashbin wanted to use me as a weapons and he didn't care that John was getting beaten up by my half-sister and team partner, as well 3 from an older class. John: Also Team Morons. Ruby: I forgot Team CRDL were the biggest idiots. Just because you saved Carden doesn't mean he had to reveal you faked your way into Beacon. Issei: Wow, seems like you had a lot of troubles. John: Well, I could get rid of them, but I'd rather not let Ashbin or Ironwood know. What about her? Issei: Tried to kill me. I will lock her up in Father's dimension for now. Ruby: Hey John, where are we going to stay? John: My dad brought the house besides Issei's. Issei: Seems like we will see each other more than expected. John: See you tomorrow. Issei watches John glowed before vanishing with Ruby. Issei transports Rainier into his father's dimension before transforming back to his human disguise before transporting himself into his own bed and going to sleep. Time skip next day. Robbie wake up scared as she felt her stomach, no scar and her clothes was fine. She hear a knock as she turns to her door. Robbie, come in. Issei entered her room. Robbie look at Issei confused. Robbie, it's surprising you woke up early. Issei: How do you feel from yesterday? Robbie: What do you mean? Issei: You were stabbed by a light spear, remember? Robbie eyes widen as she look at Issei. Robbie: Issei, tell me that you are pranking me, please. Issei shook his head no. Robbie: Then how am I still alive? Issei: I guess I need to explain a few things to Mickey. Robbie, are you awake? Mickey enter as she spots Robbie. Mickey: Great, you are awake. Could you wake up your brother? Robbie: But he is already. She looked towards where Issei once stood but saw nothing. Robbie: Awake. She got up and changed before seeing Issei waiting in the hallway. He was in his uniform, but instead of the usual red shirt he was wearing, the color was now more lighter with some darker markings on it. Robbie: Mind explaining? Issei: When Mickey isn't after my head for sleeping in late. They then head down and eat breakfast before heading out the door. Issei: So Robbie, what happened yesterday was you got attacked by a fallen angel and a devil reincarnated you into their peerage. Robbie: Wait, what? Issei: Remember Irina? Robbie: The girl that was obsessed with the church? Issei: Yes. Do you also remember how they spoke about angels, devils and fallen angels? Robbie nodded. Issei: They are real. Robbie: Nice joke, Issei. Hey Issei, is that the girl that happens to be your supposed sister? Issei: Hey John and Ruby. Ruby: Hello again, Issei. Robbie: How do you know them, Issei? Issei: I meet Ruby yesterday night and John is actually my cousin. Robbie: Wait, what? John: Let us explain somewhere else. Robbie was wondering what he meant, but suddenly they were in a void that have pink cracks in it. There were also pink stars and some kind of dust. What brings you here, Issei? Issei: Hi, Dad. Robbie: Dad? She suddenly see the giant creature she saw the day she was stabbed. Issei: Meet my real father, Palkia, the god of space. Robbie: What in the name of Gouch? Issei: Yeah, you can't say his name anymore, you can say in the name of Arceus. John: Now is not the time for that, Issei. Palkia: Why is she a devil, Issei? Issei: She got killed by a fallen angel. Speaking of fallen angel, how is Rainier? Palkia: The fallen have been scared ever since she arrived. What did you do to scare her? Issei: Killing off her comrade in front of her because he killed Robbie. Palkia: What are you planning with her? Issei: Let me handle it. Issei then left them. John: How have you been, uncle? Palkia: I have been good. How have Dialga been? John: He is alright. He is still looking for Giratina. Palkia: He isn't the only. This world is where Giratina's aura have been felt the strongest if we don't count our original world. Ruby, was Giratina's gender ever revealed? Palkia, no, Giratina is probably genderless. That is what I think as well, our father. But it seems like only Dialga knows. He is really secretive. John, well, that is dad for you. Issei then came back with Rainier in her Yuma form in a Kuoh Academy school uniform. Issei gave her between living or dying. She choose living, but she will have to stay here. Palkia, alright, I do hope she knows that I could easily get rid of her. Issei, she knows. Rappi, are you keeping her as a slave? Issei, no, but what I am doing is making sure she is out of troubles. Rainier, quick explanation. If I do not behave, then I will have to deal with Darkrai. Palkia, Issei, are you trying to make her sleep deprived? Issei, maybe. Palkia, have a nice day. He then sent them out. John, well, that was nice. Issei, indeed it was. Rappi, how long have I lived with the fact you weren't my brother? Issei, your whole life. I knew since I was created. Rappi, created? Ruby, turns out these two were created by their father. They are almost the same, but the difference is that Issei and John is not as strong as them. Rainier, so I never really stood a chance in the end. Issei, you would be lucky I even let you hit me. Rainier, I went really over my head, should have known when you didn't accept in the start. John, hey, be happy he even let you live. Rainier, I guess that is a fair point. Ruby, hey, who is she? They looked the way Ruby was looking and spotted a woman. Issei, don't know, but she reminds me of Sinoa's champion, but she wears something that relate to Giratina. John, you are right. They went over to the woman. Issei, hello miss, what brings you to this neighborhood? I am just here scouting a home to my son and his fiancée. John, oh, but why here? That is for me to know, but I have seen what I came to look for. She then turned away and began to leave. Oh, and before I leave, John, tell your father Dialga that he owes me a favor. This shocked everyone as the woman knew. They watched as she vanished from their sight. John, how did she know? Issei, John, stop the time. John used his power as everything and everyone except him. Issei, Rappi, Rainier and Ruby are frozen in time. John then opened a portal before entering. John, Dad, someone knew about you. Dialga, what do you mean, John? John, well, there was this woman looking for a home to her son, but when she was about to leave she said you owe her a favor. Dialga, John, tell me you are joking right now. He shook his head no as Dialga sighed. Dialga, there is only one person I owe a favor, and isn't even one favor but multiple. John, who? Dialga, sorry, but I can't tell you, only if she allows me to. John, I see, I will leave now. Dialga, good first day. John then left his father's dimension. Issei, so both of you have joined Kuoh Academy? John nodded. Issei, great, quick warning, we have to people that deem every male in the school a pervert. John, thank you for the heads up. Ruby, hey John, quick question, everyone here is 17, well, almost everyone. They all look at Rainier as she look offended. Rainier, I am not that old. Ruby, back to topic, I am only 15 and soon turning 16. Issei, then you won't be in our class. John, unless... Issei, John, you better not. John, don't worry, I won't do it right now, at least not yet. Issei, idiot. John, well, it will be better if she is in my class, don't want her to explode on the first day. Issei, she will not get a meltdown just because. Ruby, he does not mean that. Issei, wait, what? Rappi, is there other ways? Rainier, now this is interesting. John tried his best to not contain his laughter as Ruby got red in the face. Issei, alright, what is so funny? John, don't know, ask little crater face over here. They all looked at Ruby with a curious look. Ruby, I might have exploded during the first day, Well, my former partner Weiss did shake fire and ice dust up my nose and made me sneeze, which resulted in me blowing up. Luckily for us, nothing was destroyed. Issei, talk about exploding on the first day. Ruby, not funny. Issei, kinda is. Alright John, what is your plan? John, age her body to the point she does hit 17 but still have her actual age 15. Issei, so just change her body's age. John, yes, but her body won't start aging until she hits 17. Issei, sounds like a good plan. Ruby, so I will get my body aged up, just so I will be in your class. John, I am just making sure you don't explode again like Electrode. Issei, John, that is not a funny joke. Robbie, why? Issei, no reason, it would be better if we don't explain why. John changed Ruby's body's age to that of a 17-year-old as Issei gave John a quick look. Issei, John, I am questioning about your true intention right now. Rainer, surprised you weren't ogling her. Robbie, same. Issei, remember it was more of a fake personality. I wasn't an actual pervert. John, true, unless we count IRI. Issei elbowed John in the stomach with spatial rend. John held his stomach as Robbie had a smug look while Rainer was confused. Issei, next time shut up John. John, alright, but don't hit me with your father's powers next time. Issei rolls his eyes as they all five get to Kuoh Academy. To say that John and Ruby's first day was chaotic was a more of an understatement. He was not one day in, and two girls accuse him of being a pervert just because he and Ruby was living under the same roof. They accuse him, but Ruby did tell them off. After class, John slammed his head onto his table. John, they are so annoying. Issei, trust us, you are lucky you aren't me. Motohama, hey Issei, how do you know this guy? John, I am not dealing with this. John snaps his fingers as everything and everyone except him, Robbie, Issei, Rainer and Ruby was turned back in time. When it was done, Issei had walked back to his seat. Rainer was waiting at the door. Robbie turned back to Murayama and K-Taste as they looked ready to talk, and Ruby was just eating the snacks she had packed. John then continued time. Ruby, well, this is an interesting first day. John, yeah, you haven't exploded yet. Ruby, HEY. John, I am just joking, Rubes. Ruby, when can the others join? John, it isn't that easy. We need to make sure Kuoh is safe for them to arrive, but right now with the Fallen here, we can't transfer them. Ruby, but what should we do when it comes to transferring them? John, simple, transfer all at the same time, but mostly Blake, she has the highest risk out of everyone to get in trouble. Ashbin probably knows her past. Ruby, so transfer here faster than the others? John, yes and no. Yes, we need to get her away fastest, but we need to do this soon. Ruby nodded as they both look at Issei, Robbie and Rainer as they show they heard what both John and Ruby talked about. 3 days later. The group was heading to school when they hear someone fall. They all turn around and see a blonde nun as Rainer is shocked. Rainer, oh no. Issei, what is wrong now? Is it a plan you and your former comrades had? Rainer, yes, we were planning on removing a sacred gear from the nun. During the process she will end up dying since sacred gears are linked to a person's soul. John, Issei, you also heard that, right? Issei, give me one good reason why I shouldn't destroy the rest. Rainer, wait. It was only if she decided to leave us. Issei, well, what should we do now since you are the cause of this problem? Rainer, well, you could just bring her to your father. Issei, can't, I only showed myself to you and Robbie while Ruby knows because of John, so showing her to my father will cause a lot of trouble and explanation. They then went over to help the nun. Issei, hey, need any help? Yes, please. They then all begin to help. Robbie was about to pick up a silver cross, but Issei stopped her. Issei, you aren't from here, are you? No, I was assigned to this city's church. Robbie, oh, well, we can show you where it is. Rainer, I think I will. She was elbowed in her hip as Issei gave her a glare. That will be great. Issei, alright, follow us, but first, what is your name? Oh, I am Asia Argento. Issei, I am Issei Hayadu. John, my name is John Ark. Rainier, just call me Yuma. Ruby, Ruby Rose. Rapi, Rapi Haidu. They begin to head towards the church. On the way, Asia went over to help a boy as Rapi felt her left hand hurt. They arrive close to the church. She asked if they want to join for some tea, but they had to deny because they need to get to school. While heading to school, Issei look at John. Issei, when is her first trouble? John, today and tomorrow, both at night. Issei, I see. Ruby, should we? John, sorry Ruby, but tonight only me, Issei and Rapi is going. Rapi, wait, why me? John, because it is going to be your client, that is the place Asia and a priest is going to be in. Rainier, better get there early then, I might know the priest and trust me, he is a psychopath. John, I know, I saw into the future, that guy has some screws loose. They then arrive at the school, but Rapi, Issei and John needed to be ready for the first night. Time skipped to the night. Rapi was heading to her client, but she was riding on Issei's back as he was in his Pokemon form. Beside them, John was flying in his Pokemon form. Rapi, so I have to head inside first? John, yes, we will head in afterwards, mostly because it is your client's house. Rapi, I see, but you will follow right behind, right? Issei, we will. Calm down, Rapi, we won't let him hurt you. John, well, not that much at least. Rapi, wait, what? Issei, oh look, we arrived. Both Issei and John transform back into their human Pokemon form. They then enter the house as they all three could smell blood. Rapi, hello, whoever lives here, I am the devil you have asked from the house of Gremory. She enters the living room and held back a scream. She saw a person cut into pieces. What do you think of my masterpiece? Rapi, who are you and why did you do that? My name is Fried Selzen, and the reason why is because he made deals with devils, so he deserved to die. He then eyed her body as he gained a smirk. Fried, you know, devil girl, you don't have such a bad body. I am going to have fun with you before killing you. Rapi, you are such a disgusting person. Fried take out his sword and gun as Rapi tried to summon her sacred gear only to be shot in the shoulder. She held it as Fried smirked. He charged at her only for Issei to appear in front of Fried, and with a purple aura-covered punch, Rapi noticed his entire body is covered with the purple aura. His eyes glowed red. Fried, who are you? Issei, her brother. Fried, no matter, since you are helping and related to her, I will just paralyze you as I kill and have fun with her in front of you. John, sorry but no. John hit Fried with a flash cannon. They suddenly hear a scream. They all turn towards the person to see Asia. Asia, what? Issei, hello again, Asia. Asia, Issei? John, hi Asia. Rapi, well, this is awkward. Asia, John? Rapi? Issei, I am shocked you remember our voice. Asia, why do you too? John, look like this? Well, this is how we actually look like. Asia, does Rapi? Rapi, no, I am actually a devil. Issei, while me and John are gods, well kinda, it is complicated to explain. Fried, you two aren't gods. Issei, Rainier would say otherwise. Fried, wait, what? Issei, unlucky for you, I showed her mercy, but we heard what you said and I am going to break you in half. Fried, mercy? Issei, sorry, but I am all out of mercy. He then charged at Fried as John is covering Asia's eyes. A red magic circle appear as Rias and her peerage appear. Rias, who are you two? John, I won't tell you for now at least, but soon we will. Rias, did you hurt my servant? Rapi, no, but... Fried, help me. Issei, no one will save you, Fried. Asia, should I help him? John, sorry, no, well, I will take my leave. John then left, while they saw Fried get beaten up by Issei. Rapi, I think he had enough. Issei, fine, see you soon, Asia. Issei then stopped before opening a rift and left through it. Rapi, well, that was eventful, I will go home and rest. Rapi left them. Asia was too much in shock. then Rias and her peerage then left just as the fallen angels arrived to see Fried. What happened here? Fried, I got beat up. Yikes, someone didn't held back, was it? Fried, they said they were a god. Asia, come over here and help. The next day, Issei, John, Rappi and Ruby was walking around. Rainier was told to stay back in Palkia's dimension. Issei, hey John, why did you say we should let the fallen angels take Asia away? Rappi, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. John, simple, if me and Issei interfere, well, let's just say my father won't be in a good mood, and she should show up in 3, 2, 1. Asia, Issei, John, Rappi and Ruby? John, hey Asia. Ruby, hi Asia. Rappi, hi again. Issei, hello Asia. They decided with Asia to talk, but while talking with Asia, Ruby and John had to leave due to something Issei wasn't allowed to know, but he did say they will be at the church tonight. Rappi, Issei and Asia begin to have hang out. They started with lunch before going to the arcade, but while in the arcade Issei overheard something. Hey, why are you on your guard? Remember your mother told you to relax and get used to this town. Sorry, but it is hard not to. I can feel my cousin here, inside this very building. Calm down, you know that they are weaker than you. Besides, I know that you've been training harder for a whole century with your mom, and she did not hold back. I guess I overreacted. You did, but what is your plan for them? See if they are dumb enough to fight me. Rappi, is everything alright? Issei, yeah, I just overheard 2 people. They then continued to hang out, but while Issei wasn't there, Rappi and Asia was attacked by a fallen angel and Asia went with them as long Rappi was spared. When he returned and she told him what happened, to say he was pissed off was an understatement, and now the fallen angels are going to suffer. Time skipped to the night. In front of the church Issei, Ruby and John stood there, as they both waited for Rappi. When she arrived, she was followed by Kaneko and Kiba. Kiba, you again? Issei, hello Kiba. Rappi, hey Issei, did we keep you waiting? Issei, no, but I just hope you are ready. Kaneko, wait, you are the pervert? Issei, never was, I prefer no one knew this side, but it just couldn't be helped. They went inside, they encounter a healed up Fried. Fried, well, isn't it the shitty devils and the god that almost killed me? Issei, I also removed something from you. Fried, wait, what? Issei, Kiba, Kaneko, can you both deal with him? Kaneko, whatever. Kiba, say less. John, hey Ruby, you can test it out now. Ruby, this will be good practice with this. They then begin to fight Fried. Issei looked at John as he pointed at the altar. Issei didn't waste any time and destroyed it. Rappi, Irina is not going to be happy. John, wait, is Issei's. Issei, do not finish that sentence. Issei, Rappi and John go over to the now destroyed altar. They see there was a stairway under it. They go downstairs to see there was multiple rogue exorcists. They were all facing a giant cross. On it was Asia as she was surrounded by a green glow. Issei, what the hell is happening to her? You like it? We are removing her sacred gear. John, well, I guess it won't be removed then. John made a dark blue sphere with a white outline. He throws the sphere at the cross as it glowed blue. The fallen angels laughed. They activated it, but nothing happened. Danashik, what the? John, surprise, I am the son of a being that is a god and is given control of the concept of time. Issei, and I am the son of a being that is a god and is given control of the concept of space. You are lying. Issei, are we? You are going to pay, as I middled from the Grigori will kill you too. Issei sighed as John is face palming. John, you really stupid. Middled, what do you? John appeared behind her as he is charging up a point-blank fire blast. While with the devils and Ruby, she had changed. She now wearing blue medieval shirt with a blue medieval cloak around it, white combat pants with white armored boots. Her hair has turned blue with pink tips. They were still fighting Fried, but suddenly a blue flame charged into Fried, sending him flying. A cloaked figure stood in the doorway. In the person's hand was a katana, but when Kiba saw it he gained an angered look. Ruby, who are you? Sorry, I don't have time. Kiba, wait. He didn't get to continue say anything as the person had rushed past them and downstairs. While downstairs, Issei had freed Asia from the giant cross. He held her close as he was protecting her from Donasek that is trying to kill her. Donasek, just stand still and die. Suddenly the fallen angel was surrounded by a light blue glow before slammed into the ground and then up into the ceiling. He was continued to be slammed up and down as everyone looked. He was then thrown in the middle of the rogue exorcist. A purple dragon made of energy hit the fallen angel as the blast took out both him and the exorcist. Looks like I got here just in time. Issei, hey Irina, seems like you have opened the gift I gave you. They all turned to the entrance as Rappi noticed Irina. Irina had taken off her cloak. She was in a white combat outfit, white gloves that reached her elbow, white socks and white combat boots. Her hair is white and in two pigtails. Her eyes is also blue. In her hand was a katana that let out holy energy. Irina, yeah, whatever that stone was, it did really had an effect. Rappi, what happened to you? Issei, a gift I gave her before she left. It gave her the power of a dragon from my father's world. Irina, yeah, the letter that was over the stone explained everything. But why wasn't I allowed to tell my father? Issei, you would sound insane if you said that I was actually son of a god. Irina thought about it before sighing. Irina, fair point. She noticed a blue-pink light spear. Irina swiped it away as the spear was sent into a wall. She looked at Middled. The fallen angel felt fear as Irina glared at her. Irina, seems like you fallen angel just can't stop but be annoying. Before Middled could react, Irina charged up a solar beam. Middled tried to dodge, but Irina appeared right above her with the beam fully charged up. Irina, goodbye you rotten creature. Irina fired the solar beam point blank. When the beam was done, only burnt feathers fell down. Calawarner was the only one left. She was about to fight only for John to slice her into 4 pieces with a metal claw. John, well, seems like we are done here. They all head upstairs. When they got up from the basement, they were meet with Aquino and Rias. Rias, seems like we meet again. John, seems like we do. Issei, what do you need, Gremory? Rias, well, how about a quick battle? If I win, you two join Empirage. Rappi, Rias, are you? Issei, no Rappi, I think this young devil need to wake up to the cold reality real quick. John made a barrier around Issei and Rias. While everyone waited, they noticed the barrier crack. The air was tense as Irina had placed her sword on the ground. Irina, hey you knight of Gremory, here knock yourself out. Kiba, are you? Irina, I saw how you glared at the sword, so go ahead, I won't stop you. Kiba looked at her and the sword. Her, Rappi, John and Asia had moved out of the way as Kiba began to try and destroy the sword. While he did that, John made the barrier vanish as Rias was sent bouncing off the ground and into the wall. Issei, so little devil, mind explaining why you want me and John in your peerage? Rias looked at the ground. Rias, I need strong members because what will happen to me can affect them as well. Issei, explain. Just as Rias was about to explain, John and Issei tensed up. Everyone took notice. Issei, John, you felt that? John, yes, seems like Giratina will arrive. Irina, you are joking, right? Ruby, please tell me this is a joke. From what both you told me, we will be in big trouble. They watched as both shook their head. Aquino, who is this Giratina? Issei, Giratina is the third godlike being given the control of antimatter. Its gender was never discovered. All we know it is the second strongest being next to our grandfather Arceus. They all felt a dark presence enter the church. They all had their own attack charged up except Asia that hid behind Issei, as they needed to be ready. In the middle of the church a giant black goo formed as something began to rise from it. Issei charged up a spatial rend and John a roar of time. They watched as blue eyes appear as this shocked John and Issei. Suddenly multiple shadow balls appear around them. They saw it suddenly fully have come out of the portal as it roared. It glared at everyone as they gulped except for Issei and John. They only felt a bit nervous as they knew just like them. This was not their father's sibling. They just like them. This was its child, their cousin, and from the aura alone, they both knew how much stronger their cousin was compared to them. meeting son of Giratina in school. 3 weeks before Issei, John, Ruby and the devils went to save Asia. Izuku was sitting on a chair inside Ingvile's room. She was still sleeping. Izuku sighed. He have waited a century. He prayed sometimes to multiple gods that she will soon wake up. He felt a weird auras coming from outside. He went to check it out since he could feel they don't have good intention. Izuku mind, let's see what these devils want. He looked at all the devils from the top of the castle. They all wear some type of armor and mask. He floats down to the devils. Izuku, who are you and what brings you here? A woman walked towards him before stopping 3 feet away. Leave this place and you won't be hurt. Izuku, I don't know who you devils think you are, but from your tone, you better explain what you want or else we will have problems. How dare you mess with me? Do you know who I am, human? Izuku, I am anything but human, and I do know who you are. My father-in-law told me about you, Ingvild Leviathan. Kateria, good, hand over your so-called fiancé and we won't hurt you that badly. Izuku, why should I do that? Kateria, unless you want to suffer the same fate as her father, I suggest you leave. Izuku, did you kill him? Kateria, yes, he was in the way. Izuku got angry from hearing that. He let his aura be released as every devil felt scared except Ingvild. Izuku was engulfed in darkness. The darkness grew until a loud roar could be heard. From midnight to 003. They watched as the darkness slowly formed into a giant creature, as its blue eyes glowed glaring at them. Kateria, what in the name of Lucifer is he? Izuku's body sparked with electricity. Kateria from the aura he let out would kill her if she didn't leave. She transported herself away, but the others weren't so lucky. Izuku hit them with a thunderbolt before killing them with a dragon pulse. Izuku was about to hunt Kateria down when he felt Ingvild waking up. He quickly levitated himself to her window. He looked inside to see Ingvild sitting up before stretching and yawning. Ingvild, how long was I asleep? She looks to her window to see Izuku in his Pokemon form. It gave her a shock that she fell out of the bed. She managed to get up before running over to the window before hugging Izuku's head. Ingvild, I am happy to see you again, Izuku. I am so sorry that I was asleep for so long. Izuku transformed back. While transforming, Ingvild held tighter until she felt Izuku also holding her with his arms. Izuku, I am so glad you are awake. He levitated himself inside. He sat in the window while Ingvild was sitting on her bed. Ingvild, what happened while I was asleep? Izuku, well, aside from a few birthdays and me training, the only thing you mostly missed was your mother dying of old age. Ingvild was a bit saddened about her mother's death. Ingvild, anything else? Izuku, yes, which bring to something. Remember how your father always was scared that devils will find you both? Ingvild nodded. Izuku, they did manage to. Seems like a relative found you. I don't know what her plan was, but they killed your father. Ingvild teared up from hearing that. Both of her parents are dead. Izuku went over and comforted her in a hug. Then his mother appeared to see them. Giratina, wrong time? Izuku, not really, it is just. Giratina, I have heard what you told her. Even though we can continue to get rid of them, I think it will be better to move, because we can't always stay here. They will return as many times as they can, and suddenly we will slip up. Izuku, do you have an idea what to do? Giratina, I do have one. Stay in the distortion world while I get you some place to stay. Izuku, alright mom, anything we need to be aware about? Giratina, well, you might end up in the same city as your cousins. Izuku, I almost forgot they existed. Giratina, how did you forget? I have seen you watching what happening in their life. Izuku, well, I was curious about them. Giratina, well, helping Ingvild pack her things. Izuku, of course, mom. Ingvild and Izuku begin to pack her clothes. Izuku mostly pack anything but the clothes. When they were done packing, they then enter a portal to the distortion world. Present time. Izuku glared down at everyone at the church. Issei and John was about to attack when they hear someone begin to sing. They all notice Izuku seems to calm more down while the person whoever is continuing singing. When the person stops singing, they notice Izuku bow his head low enough for whoever sang jumped off. Rias, Who are you? Ingvild. Hello, Rias Gremory. My name is Ingvild Leviathan. Rias, as a descendant of the Leviathan family? Ingvild. Yes, could you all lower your attacks? He is harmless as long you don't attack him, or me. Issei. How can we be so sure? Ingvild. Trust me, I have grown up with him ever since I was born, so I know him well. John lowers his arm as his attack disappears. John. Alright, everyone just do as she say. Everyone except Ingvild and Isuku. Are you crazy? John. Issei, we aren't strong enough to fight him, let alone be able to beat him even if we work together. Issei. Guess there is no better option. One by one, they all stop their attacks as they watch Ingvild pat Izuku's head. They watch as the goo-like substance that he came through suddenly covered him before he was in his human form. Izuku, seems like that is out of the way. Hello there, Issei and John. I am Isuku Ark, son of Giratina. Issei. So you actually is a lot more friendlier than we would had expect? Izuku. As long you don't hurt Ingvild, I won't get rid of you. John. What brings you here? Izuku. Me and Ingvild just wanted you people to know we exist and tell we aren't here to fight. Rias. Then why are you two here? Izuku. Just to hide from some devils that is after Ingvild and to have a bit of a normal life. We won't cause any problems for you, Miss Gremory. Rias nodded. Izuku looked at all of them, sensing different energy on each of them. But then his eyes landed on Kaneko. She felt like something was about to happen as Ingvild sighed at this. Ingvild, are you a Nekashu by any chance? Kaneko, how do you? Ingvild, you see, Izuku loves cats due to us always finding some stray cat going into our old home. He loves to take care of them even if they happen to be Nekomata in disguise. But most Nekomata vanished the next day, mostly due to them being hunted down, and they didn't want us to be hurt. Before anyone could react, Izuku had picked Kaneko up like she was a cat before opening a portal to the distortion world. Izuku, I am taking her with me, Rias Gremory. Do not try and find me unless you want me to kill you. Rias, at least do not kill her. Izuku, nope, I am just taking her in. He then entered the portal as many were confused what just happened. Ingvild, seems like your servant is getting adopted into his family. Rias, is that a good thing? Ingvild, depends how you see it. Rias, please tell him to protect her. Ingvild, trust me, he will protect her. She then entered the portal before it closed. Irina, that was really weird. Issei, I am surprised how mine and John's cousin act. Guess he has a more soft spot for cats. John, it has been a long day and school is tomorrow. Ruby, this is going to be so boring. Irina, hey Issei, I have nowhere to stay, so I am staying with you. Is that alright? Issei, yes, you can sleep in Rapi's room. Rapi, actually, I think it is better that she sleeps in your room since Asia will stay in mine for the night. Rias, could you handle the school thing? Rias, of course. Rapi, great, let's head home. Issei just looked at Rapi as she had a smirk. He then looked at Irina as she looked at him. He noticed she licked her lips before giving him a look that said, you and I aren't going to sleep tonight. Issei mind, I am so bucked. Irina grabbed the destroyed katana, before grabbing Issei and dragged him with her out the church, leaving the devils confused expect Rapi. Time skipped to the next day. Ingvild woke up feeling Izuku cuddling her. She smiled before trying to get out of his arms, but realized that Izuku is stronger than her. She tries more but ended giving up. Suddenly the door to their room opened as Kaneko entered. Kaneko, let me guess you are stuck. Ingvild, yeah, but I can't really blame him. Mind getting his mother real quick to help? Kaneko, sure, I still wonder why he actually adopted me as his sister. Ingvild, as said he loves cats, and he always wanted a Nekomata as his sibling. Kaneko, I see, guess I got chosen. Ingvild watched as Kaneko leave the room. After a small while Giratina appear in the room. She first take a picture before hitting Izuku on his head with a shadow force. Izuku woke up before rubbing his head. Izuku, MOM. What was that for? Giratina, first, stop yelling. Second, you were still cuddling Ingvild while sleeping. You don't want to be late. Izuku, I guess you are right. Both get out of bed. Isuku transport himself into his own room to change. When he was done, he then changed into his disguise form before transporting himself into the kitchen. He see Kaneko snacking on something on a sweet. Ingvild was done eating. Ingvild, ready to go? Isuku, yes. Giratina, have a good day Isuku, Ingvild and Kaneko. Oh Isuku, remember to inform John and Issei they need to come over here as well to bring their fathers here. Isuku, thanks Mom. Ingvild, thank you Giratina. Kaneko, thank you Miss Giratina. They then left the house. Kaneko went there a bit faster than Isuku and Ingvild. When both of them arrived at the school, the first thing they did was head to the student council to get their class schedule. When they arrived they were told to enter. Sona, hello, you must be Isuku Ark and Ingvild Leviathan. Isuku, we are, guess that Rias has told you about us. Sona, indeed she has. But what is Ingvild's last name going to be since she can't reveal that she is a devil? Ingvild, I will use Ark. Sona, why? Ingvild, well, we are going to get married soon. Sona, aren't you too young? Isuku, no actually I have waited for her to wake up for at least a century. Sona, I see, but why go to school when you both are over a century old? Ingvild, it was his mom idea, mostly due to his cousins is here. Sona, you mean Issei and John. Rias explained everything to me about who you two are. Isuku, well we are only here for our schedule. Sona gave them their schedule. Isuku and Ingvild then leave before heading to their class. Isuku did take notice about most people that were here was girls. But most boys there was in the school was perverts. When they looked at Ingvild, they had a perverted look on their face. Isuku, I don't like this school already. Ingvild, calm down, you know that I only love you. Isuku, I know. Ingvild grabs his hand. Isuku smiled at this. He noticed all the boys glared at him. So he let out a bit of his aura. Every boy felt it, and decided to stop staring at Ingvild. Arriving at the door to the classroom, they notice Irina and Asia standing outside. Irina, oh hello Ingvild and Isuku. Asia, hello Asia and Isuku. Ingvild, hi Irina and Asia. Isuku, hello. Irina, seems like he isn't in a good mood. Ingvild, he just don't like this school due to all the perverts. Irina, I can tell, so seems we are going to be in the same class. Asia, I just hope they will treat me right. Irina, don't worry, Issei have said if his two friends say any perverted comments, he will knock them out. Asia, alright. Inside the classroom. Motohama, wow Issei, you look like someone that hadn't even closed eye last night. Matsuda, yeah, were you up and watched the videos we send you? Issei, no, something else happened last night. Motohama, did you get laid or something? You better not have. While with Ruby and John, Ruby had slapped John on the back of his head, since John is doing his best not to burst out laughing. Ruby, John, you better not laugh. John, it is really hard not to. Murayama, those three are so disgusting. Kates, agreed. Rapi mind, too bad they actually don't know why he is actually drained. Teacher, alright everyone, settle down, we are getting 4 new students to join our class. Murayama, I hope they are only girls. Kates, same, we don't need another pervert in this school. Teacher, well it is 3 girls and 1 boy, you 4 may enter now. As the door open, Isuku, Ingvild, Asia and Irina enter. Isuku, hello I am Isuku Ark, don't expect me to be anyone's friends. Everyone except those that know him mind, he seems like trouble. Ingvild, sorry about him, I am Ingvild Ark. Irina, I am Irina Shidu, oh hey Issei, still drained from yesterday's night? Issei just tiredly nodded before laying his head on the desk. Asia, hello I am Asia Argento. Teacher, any questions? Matsuda, is any one of you single? Irina, no, I am with Issei. Motohama, wait, Issei you seem drained and exhausted, and she just said you both are together, did you two actually? Issei, yes we did, I am not surprised though. Irina, I have known him since we were children, but I had to move away due to my dad's work, so I have waited until I finally could return back here to Kuoh. Everyone mind, how did anyone manage to fall in love with him? Isuku, can we continue? Murayama, I have a question. Are you, Ingvild and John related? Isuku, me and John are cousins. Kates, but what about Ingvild? He only stated him and John are cousins, but why is your name Ark? Ingvild, well, me and Isuku here is engaged, so I am taking his last name. This shocked everyone since they didn't expect their two new classmates already being engaged. They had so many questions of how and when did they become engaged. John, why didn't you two tell us yesterday? Isuku, didn't want to waste my time around you and the others. John, no need to be rude. Isuku, whatever. Teacher, alright, go to your seats, you can ask them later when class is over. They went to their assigned seats. Luckily for Isuku he was besides Ingvild. They then had to listen to what the teacher was teaching. Isuku did find it boring. Why should he learn something when he doesn't even need it? When class ended, Isuku slammed his head down in annoyance. Ingvild, someone is happy it is finally over. Isuku, you have no idea. Ingvild sighed before she was pulled by Isuku into his lap before hugging her. Ingvild, really? Isuku, just need a hug from my favorite person to help me through the day. Ingvild, you are such a child sometimes for a serious person. Isuku, only for you. They all just look at Isuku hugging Ingvild as she sit on his lap. Most boys was jealous. Issei was just talking to Irina and John was talking with Ruby about how to help their friends. Kates, hey Ingvild, are you comfortable on his lap? Ingvild, yes, why won't I be? Murayama, he could be a pervert. Ingvild chuckled at that statement. Ingvild, he isn't. As I said, I have known him my entire life. Not only that, but before coming to Kuoh, we had to pack our things. But I needed help since I had more stuff than Isuku. He needed to help me, but he packed anything but the clothes. Isuku, just because I am a cold person, doesn't mean I can't be embarrassed. Ingvild, why would you be embarrassed? Isuku, my mom drilled into me not to be a pervert and to be a gentleman. Ingvild, now I understand why you didn't help pack my clothes. Isuku didn't answer, just rested his head on her back. When the school finally was over, everyone was heading home except Isuku, Ingvild, John, Ruby, Issei, Rapi, Irina and Asia. John, what do you need, Isuku? Isuku, Mom told me to tell you two to bring your fathers to come over to my home. Issei, why? Isuku, just come. Isuku grabbed Ingvild's hand as they disappeared through a portal in the ground. Issei and John looked at each other before nodding. Issei, seems like we are going to visit him. John, let's hope it only goes good. They contacted their father before heading to Izuku's home alongside Irina, Ruby and Asia. Upon arriving outside his home, they waited until their father arrived. Ruby, what do you think will happen? Issei, don't know, the son of Giratina seems more mysterious than the original one. John, agreed, the only one that knew the original one the best was my father, but he never reveals anything. Irina, so we should expect the unexpected? Issei, yes. Dialga, sorry if I am late. Palkia, more like you always is on time. Issei, Dad? John, father. Palkia, so this is where your cousin lives, I am surprised. Dialga, well, let's go meet your cousin. They went up to the door and knocked on it. Opening the door was someone that Dialga was shocked to see. Giratina, glad you could have. Before she could continue, Dialga quickly lifted her up in a hug. Dialga, it is so good to see you again, Giratina. Giratina, Dialga put me down. Dialga, sorry. Ichi placed her down as he smiled at her. Dialga, it has just been so long since I last saw you, sister. Giratina, it is also good to see you too, brother. Palkia, wait, you are Giratina? Giratina, hello to you too, Palkia. John, wait, you are a woman? Dialga, John. Giratina, no, it is fine, I did never reveal that I was woman. Issei, so you are our aunt? Giratina, Hello to you to Issei, come in everyone, I have a lot of explaining to do. Palkia, you don't say Giratina. They then enter the house so they can get answers why Giratina left. Explanation and helping Rias with her problem. Izuku was taking a nap on Ingvilde's lap as she played with his hair. Giratina was sitting at a table with her brothers, their own respective kid and their own respective kids' friends. Giratina, so this is a cord. Palkia, you tell us, we have been looking for you, for a whole century, and when we find you, you somehow have a kid. When did you even create him? Giratina, I actually gave birth to him. Dialga, so you didn't use your powers to make him? Giratina shook her head no. Dialga and Palkia, who got you pregnant? They could hear the two gods' shock as well their anger. Giratina, I don't know how I got pregnant. All I know is one day I felt something wrong and I find out I was pregnant. Palkia, why didn't you tell us? Giratina, the only one I probably would tell is Dialga. But my reason is I didn't want father to find out. I feared he might have taken Izuku when he was born or something worse. Dialga, she does have a point. With how she have acted in the past, father might have taken our nephew thinking he will grow up to be like her. Palkia, I guess she does, and both of us are really loyal to father, meaning we might have told him. Dialga, how old is he? Giratina, both him and Ingvilde are a whole century old. Ingvilde, to be exact, we are 117 years. Issei, so he is a whole century older than me and John. John seems like it. Irina, what brought you to this world? Giratina, I just looked for one that would be the hardest for father to find me, while also allow me to use my powers. But while being here, I begin to find out more about the world. It is interesting and I love to learn the things this world have to offer. Palkia, thought you would have destroyed this world. Giratina, I do have hobbies other than destruction. Dialga, unfortunately I saw what one of her hobbies was. I don't think annoying father is a good one. Palkia, that is your hobby? Giratina, one of my more destructive one, but I have stopped them because I prefer taking care of Izuku now instead of continue those hobbies. John, isn't he a century old? No offense, but why would he need you to look after him? Giratina, just because he is a century, doesn't mean he isn't still a teenager. Issei, so in age he is old, but mentally he is just as old as us. Giratina nodded her head. Kaneko soon enters the door and see everyone sitting living room. Kaneko, so his family is here. Well, I just got a message from Rias. She will need Issei, John and Izuku tomorrow at the ORC club. Issei, why? Kaneko, to put it short, we are getting company and we will need your help dealing with this person just in case, mostly Rappi's case. Issei, great, so some douchebag is coming. If he's so Michigan as flirt with her, I am going to. Irina, calm down Issei, I will also be there just in case. He felt a little relieved. Palkia, but you know we have to let father know now, he has been worried. Giratina, because I probably was planning something or because I disappeared. Dialga, both, mostly the latter. Giratina, alright, tell him, but make him promise not to try anything against Izuku. Palkia, we will. They then all left the house as Giratina turned towards her son and daughter-in-law sleeping peacefully together on the couch. She watched as Kaneko have grabbed a blanket and throw it over them before heading upstairs to her room. Giratina mind, I am happy how things are now. Time skip next day at the ORC. Izuku, John and Issei transport inside the ORC building. Issei had brought Irina in her Reshiram form. John had brought Ruby in her Zacian form and Izuku had brought Ingvilde alongside with them. Upon arriving, they spot a maid with silver gray hair and in a blue French maid outfit. Izuku, we are here. Who is the devil over there? Rias, do you know them? Rias, they are three sons of three gods. Izuku is son to the goddess of Antimatter Giratina. Issei is son to the god of space Palkia and John is the son to the god of time Dialga. What about the girls? Ruby, I am Ruby Rose, I am a close friend to John and a former huntress in training. Irina, I am Irina Shidu, former exorcist of the church and lover to Issei. Ingvilde, and I am Ingvild Leviathan, fiancé to Isuku. Wait, you are a Leviathan? And you are his fiancé? The maid pointed to Isuku. Ingvild, yes. Isuku, got a problem? Not at all, I am Grafia. They all could tell that Grafia felt scared, probably because Isuku was directing his aura to her. He calmed down as Grafia began to sigh in relief. Issei, so Rias, why did you want us here? Rias, that is because I am. A orange magic circle appeared and a phoenix cry could be heard. Kaneko, Phoenix. Suddenly a blond man in a fancy red suit and red pants appear. Riser have arrived. John, already heard him speak and I already hate him. The other 5, you are not the only one. The man sits beside Rias on a couch as Rias' peerage was sitting on the opposite while Akino have given Riser a cup of tea. Rias was playing with Rias' hair as she looked uncomfortable. Riser, the tea you made Queen of Rias' peerage is delicious as always. Akino, thank you Lord Riser. The 3 godchildren and those they brought along them could hear how Akino forced herself to be nice. Isuku, so who is the asshole? John, yeah, he doesn't seem that important. Issei, true, I have met a being way more important than him. Grafia, this is Riser Phoenix, 3rd son to the House of Phoenix. Riser, and Riser expect an apology from you 3 or else. Isuku, if you value your life then back down now, you can't take on Ruby from what I can sense. Fighting either John or Issei is just asking to die, but try and fight me, they won't ever find your body. Riser, should Riser be scared? Please like you can kill Riser, Riser am immortal. Grafia, Riser stop. He is way stronger than me, even stronger than Surzek just from his aura alone, so I advise you to calm down. Riser, there is no way he is stronger than. A black tendril pierced the wall behind Riser as a scar could be seen on Riser's left cheek. They all look at Isuku to see his arms are folded as a tendril have come out his back. Isuku, I am sorry Riser, mind continue speaking so I have more of a reason to get rid of you. Riser will prefer staying quiet. Isuku, good. The tendril retract back to Isuku. Isuku, I would like to know why he even is here. Grafia, he is Miss Rias' fiancé. Issei him? Her fiancé? Funny joke, what is next his sister is in his peerage full of girls. John, Issei, I don't want to be that person but… Issei, excuse me for a moment. He then vanished in a pink portal as it closed. Irina, maybe you should have kept that to yourself. John, actually I did that on purpose. Ruby grabbed his ear. Ingvild, don't mind them. Rias was tired of Riser and stood up. Rias, Riser, for the last time I am not marrying you. Riser, Rias, it is for the greater of the Devil's Society. Isuku mumbling, greater for idiots that think female devils is only to reproduce. A black wing with 3 red spikes pop out from his back as it warped around Invile protectively. Riser and Rias was releasing their aura. Grafia released her own aura, making both stop. Grafia, listen, this will all be settled in a rating game. John, mind filling us in? Grafia explained the rating game to them. Riser, unfortunately for Rias, Riser have a full peerage. Then an orange magic circle appear. Issei, hey everyone, I am back. He arrived back with Ophis that have joined alongside him. He spot the peerage and see the youngest looking to be in middle school, while the oldest was at least an adult. Ophis, talk about coming back at a bad time, but seems like you weren't wrong. Issei looked towards one of them and disappeared again. Riser, who is the kid? Irina, hey Ophis, how have things been? Grafia, mind, the Ouroboros dragon? Ophis, enjoyed the silence that Issei have helped provide me. Rappi, so you knew? Ophis, I have known longer than both of you had, just as he knew I was the Ouroboros dragon when we meet. Riser, hey, don't ignore Riser. Ophis, who is the ugly wannabe phoenix? How dare you insult Master Riser? Grafia, stop. She is the Ouroboros dragon god. If you attack her, she can kill you with a flick of her wrist. Riser, mind, she sure is powerful. Issei, I am back again, finally mentally calmed down to deal with this. Irina, welcome back. Riser, back to the topic. Rias, as you can see, Riser have an entire peerage. John, I am questioning your choice of woman. Ruby, you aren't the only one. Ingvild, I think Isuku is broken. They looked to Isuku to see him showing no emotion, but looking closely they could tell he was in shock of what he was seeing. Riser, probably jealous of Riser. Yubelina, come here. Yubelina, of course, Lord Riser. The oldest, now known as Yubelina, walked towards Riser. He then began to make out in front of everyone with Yubelina. Many was disgusted. Grafia, John, Issei and Ophis hid their disgust. Izuku then came back to his senses to see what is going on. Izuku, seems like he prefer having multiple female servants as his own relief. I am happy with my Leviathan here. He then pulled in closer, hugging her, and just rest his head on the back of her as Ingvild sigh. Wait, did he just say Leviathan? As in she is the descendant of the original Mao Leviathan? Ingvild, that is correct. Riser, so you are engaged to a descendant to the original Leviathan? Izuku, yes. Riser, how about a trade offer? You can take anyone from Riser's peerage and Riser get her. They all turned to Izuku as he was seething with anger. Izuku, so you think I would trade the person I love, for someone that I don't even know, but also for someone that is just your sloppy second? I love Ingvild so much that I would cause havoc on this world. I have stayed loyal to her while she was in a deep sleep for a century. Your offering means nothing for true love. Something you clearly don't know anything about. Ingvild smiled with a blush as she hugged even more tightly in a more protective manner. Riser felt insulted for what he said. Issei, John, Izuku, can we talk real quick? John, I think it is for the better before he blows a fuse. They grab Izuku, transport him to the dimensional gap. Riser, since he is gone, Riser will grab. He was hit by a solar beam sending to the opposite wall. Everyone looked at Irina as she was whistling. Grafia, glad I didn't need to step in. Ingvild, even if Riser tried, Izuku would have killed him before he even could. Ingvild noticed that a blue bubble have surrounded Riser and his peerage. They all follow her gaze as they watch Issei come put the shadows before grabbing Revel and disappear. Then a shadow make a clone to Revel that no one could tell the difference. Ophis, and Issei is making his tricks again. Rappi, but this time Izuku and John is helping him. Grafia, this meeting have gone longer than I expected. I will transport them back. Rias have 10 days to train. John popped his head out of a portal. John, I have asked my father and I am able to extend the training by slowing down time to 1 year. Ruby, isn't that overboard? Grafia, agreed. I mean, couldn't you just extend it just maybe 1 month? John, 1 year, take it or leave it. Rias, it could be beneficial. Grafia, I will inform Surzek then. She then left. Afterwards Riser and his peerage left as well. Rias, I will inform Rappi to tell you where we are going to train. John made the portal bigger as Ophis, Ruby, Irina and Ingvild walked though leaving the room. Kaneko, this is going to be painful. Akino, how painful are we talking about? Kaneko didn't answer but her body shook a bit in fear. This did alarm Rias and her peerage. Time skipped to the next day 7 a.m. in the morning. Rias and her peerage minus Kaneko and Rappi was walking up a hill with heavy things in them. When they arrive at the top, they spot Izuku, John and Issei, sleeping in their Pokemon form. While Issei and John Izuku was just resting in his origin form. They watch as Ruby and Irina was sparring against Kaneko and Rappi. Rias, how long have this been going on? Ophis, about 4 hours. This scared them as they let out a scream, but luckily a bubble silenced it. When the scream was done, the bubble disappeared. Kiba, what about them? Ophis, they challenged Izuku. He proved he was stronger than them and Izuku had to drag them back here. Akino, and what about her? Ophis, is there a problem? Revel is here? Revel, if I am honest, being here is better than being in my own room at this moment. Akino, why? Revel, I think my brother is a good reason why I prefer staying here. Rias, even you hate him? Revel, The only reason why I am in his peerage is my mother's request to keep him in some kind of leash. They then hear a loud explosion and see Kaneko and Roppy laying in a crater, and both are extremely exhausted. Ruby, hey Asia, mind healing them? Asia, sure. They watch as the former nun appear behind Issei's tail. She was now wearing a blue dress that was open in the middle, a yellow shirt under the dress, black stockings and black shoes. There was crown on her head that seems to look like it was made of the inside of a tree. Kiba, Asia, is that you? Rias, you look different. Asia, well, Issei introduced me to someone. I then gained this form due to, as the person said, she is such a caring person, she has a will that want to help everyone. So I received this form. Irina, she and Ruby is lucky they meet the Pokemon they got their powers from. All I got was a note that told about the what Issei is and the Pokemon he gave me my powers from. Ruby, I think it is because he convinced the Pokemon that you have your powers from to give its powers to you. Irina, well, he did say it was hard to convince the Pokemon in the note. After Roppy and Kaneko was healed, they got out the crater and see the rest are here. Kaneko, good morning. Roppy, good morning Rias. Rias, you two sound exhausted. Kaneko, you think training for 4 hours straight wouldn't be exhausting? Not to mention me and RPI had to deal with Irina that can infuse her moves with holy energy. They look at Irina wondering if what she says is true. Irina, well, the reason why I can infuse my moves with holy energy is actually thanks to the church, and if I am honest, I have a feeling the way they made a way for exorcists to wield Excalibur is scum-like way, and more terrible thing is happening without the rest of our knowledge. Rias, so you can literally have killed us the day you arrived here. Irina, yes, but Ophis is still stronger than me by multiple miles. Ophis, and Issei is stronger than me by many light years. Irina, well, he is the son of the god of space, which is his reason to be so strong. Izuku, are you done talking? Izuku raised his body of the ground and look at them. They notice Ingvild waking up on the back of Izuku from the movement of him floating. Izuku, so since you are here, let's have a quick spar. Rias, you and your peerage need to fight against me. Ingvild, that is unfair and you know it. You have a whole century of experience, and trained for just as long with your mother, they stand no chance. Izuku, I know, welcome to your first day of your training, this is going to be true hell for you. Rias and her peerage go bed as she look at him. Izuku, if I were you, I would brace myself. Time skip after a one-sided slaughter. Rias and her entire peerage including Roppy and Kaneko was laying on the ground. There was multiple craters with smoke coming out of them. Izuku was on his knees being scolded by Ingvild with Irina and Ruby laughing at the scene in front of them, while Asia began to heal the others. Ingvild, why didn't you hold back? Izuku, if they want to beat Riser they need to be pushed over their limits. Ingvild, not allowing them to attack is not a good way. Izuku, I did allow them to attack. Ingvild, allowing Kaneko to get one attack in before hitting her with Aura Sphere, Shadow Ball, Energy Ball, and Stone Edge is really a good way to allow them to get one hit in. Izuku just looked down as Issei and John woke up. Issei, what is happening? Irina, Izuku is getting scolded by Ingvild. That is what happening, it is funny to see. They watch as Izuku is looking down while being scolded by Ingvild. They snickered seeing Izuku being scolded by his fiancée that is way weaker than him. Ruby, well, he did also one-sided slaughter Rias and her peerage. They both then hear groaning. They watch as Rias and her peerage sit up still in pain. John, you did a number on them. Izuku, as Ruby said, it was a one-sided slaughter. Roppy, you have a problem with holding back. Ophis, at least you weren't standing on the sideline and was hit by crossfire. They looked to Ophis as she looked annoyed while some parts of her clothes was damaged and some smoke could be seen coming from her head. Ophis, I am heading to Issei's father's dimension. I am taking a nap. Issei, you always take a nap. Ophis, so? Issei, just tell me if my father annoys you. Ophis then vanished as John used Roar of Time. A bubble was made around the place they were going to train as outside the bubble. Things seems to have slowed down. John, your training begins now. Time right now outside this bubble, time is slowed down until a whole year has passed inside here. Rias, a whole year? John, indeed, and your training will mostly consist with Irina and Ruby. Aquino, what about Ingvild? Is she also going to help us train? Izuku, do you really want to find out? Aquino shook her head as this did shock Rias, Kiba, and Kaneko. Rappi, what about me? Issei, I am the one that will be training you, Rappi. Hope you and Drag is ready, because the most amount of rest you will be getting is from food breaks and sleep. Rappi gulped as Issei had grabbed her and dragged her off somewhere. Irina, I feel bad for whoever decide to try and get Rappi as their girlfriend. John, he is still that overprotective? Irina, if Riser want to keep his existence, then he should leave Rappi alone. Ravel, knowing my brother, he probably wouldn't care. Rappi is exactly that type of woman my brother wants as a personal servant. John, so you will lose your brother. Ravel, can't do anything and I won't do anything. If he piss off 3 gods, be my guest, I am not saving him from them all because of one girl. Izuku, you seem to be the only one that reasonable between your family. Ravel, depends on who we are speaking of. If between me and Riser, I am the more reasonable one, but if we talk about my whole family, my mother is the most reasonable one. Irina, I see where you get it from. Ingvild, do you think the Devil Council is stupid enough to try and marry me off while I am not in their society? Ravel, yes, they are that dumb, most of them. A select few has some sort of sense. Izuku, seems like I am going to commit a mass genocide against the devils. They hear explosion and their attention was turned to that direction. Issei could be seen flying in the air in his Pokemon form. A red beam could be seen hitting him as he used Scald. Irina, seems like Rappi's training have started. Now Rias and Aquino, follow me. Ruby, Kaneko and Kiba, you two follow me. They then left as John looked at Izuku and Ingvild. John, seems like they are going to train. Izuku, I do feel a bit bad for them. Ruby and Irina isn't going to hold back. John, I will take my leave, I have to grab someone. Izuku, I will take a nap. Ravel, I will just go and work on some lunch for them, since they will need some. John disappeared using a portal and Izuku transformed back into his Giratina form and laid on the ground. Ingvild walked over to his body and leaned herself up against it before falling asleep, while in hell, inside a office Graphia could be seen in an office. In front of her sat someone with crimson red hair and royal robes. So you are saying that a former exorcist and 3 gods are going to help Rias, and a descendant from the Leviathan family is engaged to one of them. Graphia, yes Surzek, they are going to help her get stronger, but I have a bad feeling. Surzek, that the council will try and stop Rias from winning, so that is a problem. A black sludge-like portal appeared behind Graphia which shocked the 2 devils. Out of it came Giratina. Giratina, good evening Surzek Lucifer, I am Giratina, the goddess of antimatter. Surzek, good evening Giratina, what brings you here? Giratina, I propose a deal from my 2 nephews and my son. Surzek, go on. Giratina, you want Rias to be protected from Riser, so here is what's going to happen. If he ever tried to do anything against Issei's sister Rappi, they can interfere and force Riser to forfeit the fight in exchange. I want the Devil Council to stay away from my son's fiancée. Do we have a deal? She held out her hand as a dark aura surrounded it. Graphia and Surzek looked at each other before both nodded. He grabbed her hand as Giratina for a moment was covered in the black sludge with her eyes glowing red before returning to normal. Giratina, happy to do business with you Surzek. Please inform the Devil Council about this deal and if they try anything, I will be their least worry. Izuku will kill all of them before destroy this hell by himself. With that Giratina left as Surzek was scared a bit feeling the dragon Pokemon goddess power from the deal. Graphia, so Rias should not worry that much if she is about to lose. Surzek, yes, but the council will not be happy that a descendant of the Leviathan family is off limit. But Giratina is stronger than me, stronger than God himself, stronger than anything in this world. Fighting her will end with every devil gone. So we better hope the council won't do anything reckless. Graphia nodded before leaving Surzek alone in his office. He sighed before sitting down in his chair again, knowing that dealing with the council will be a headache. But he knew they wouldn't listen and get on the son of the goddess of Antimatter's bad side. Because Surzek knows one thing: if Riser isn't getting their race killed, then the council will.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.